welcome back to an episode of Rugby with Pads. I'm your host Sam, and I'm recording back to back because you deserve the content that I haven't been giving you over the last 5 months. Sorry. Anyway, today we launched on episode 3 of our fancy musings of the off season, and we've talked a little bit about what you want to get out of fancy football and how you should take an approach to playing. And as much as it was tongue in cheek, the message is be social with everything, but there is something you should expect, and something that can either make or ruin your experience in playing fancy football, and that is the hallowed position of the commissioner. The commissioner, for those of you who don't know, is the person who is in charge of the league, who makes decisions, who probably set up the league as well, and who helps arbitrate any decisions. I think arbitrate's the word anyway, and support anything going on in the league, any changes that go on. So what I'm saying here is a good one can really make a league. A bad one can really ruin a league. So what to expect from your commissioner. Thank you for listening. I will continue with my video essay right now. Anyway, so you've worked out what you want to get out of fantasy football this year, and you're going to take charge of your own destiny. But who can help you realise this vision? The most important player in your fantasy future is not you. It's the commissioner. The commissioner sets the vision, vibe and direction of the league, and your week-to-week happiness can often come down to how your commissioner reacts and demands of you and your league mates. Sorry. For some, it's a forced upon title. They were the last guy to sign up, so they had to do it. For others like myself, it becomes more of a moniker worn with pride. There should be some honour in the position, and it's vital to shape the enjoyment of the 16 plus weeks where you're forced to interact with each other. Hopefully you're doing it with friends. If not, you need to make sure there's a good commissioner bringing it all together. If you're in a league that everyone is only looking for some casual stock rules, etc., you should just be ensuring that your commissioner is not interfering with the natural order of things. That's really common. If you are in a more intense, specific rule set, he needs to make sure these are followed, and that everyone understands and it's communicated well. And enabling the game is the common factor between both modes of those. Over the last 5 years of commissioning multiple leagues and being part of too many leagues to count in general, I've come in with 3 musts and 3 must-nots that you should expect from your commissioner. It sounds like a contract, but your commissioner must communicate well. Number 1 point. You need to decide on a platform to talk on, whether it be the native chat app, WhatsApp, other things like that, and ensure that any decision needs to be made is communicated in a timely fashion. It needs to be consistent. Communicate and consistent. Well, that's 1. He needs to be decisive, something that I struggle with, but act quickly and fairly to avoid ongoing debate, argument, or further issues to ruin your enjoyment of the league. And number 3, and this is probably the most important really, is not to take it personally. The decisions made will occasionally irk some of your league mates, potentially even you, creating backlash and potential for frustration, not mostly aimed at the commissioner themselves. Having a thick skin and being able to deflect whilst keeping the other 2 musts in play is essential for long-term viability of a league. Now, that's what they should do. Semi-negative on some of those points, but the commissioner must also never, 1, take sides. They need to be objective. Be just, otherwise players won't come out for more. They won't respect your authority and your decisions. And the commissioner, goes without saying, must never be corrupt. Collusion, they call, but they should never use their position for personal gain. As players, call it out, stomp it out, and vote with your feet by not returning to a league. That's the most important thing to do. The commissioner is your voice. I think that makes sense. He or she is meant to enable the game. It's for you. It's meant to be fun. And with generally low stakes, someone messing with that is a problem, and it's not manageable within confines of fantasy football. So, let it be known if they're not playing by the rules. And the last and possibly the most important thing is they should never veto a trade. I hate it. And I'm on both sides of the fence on this one because sometimes it's outrageous, but a league needs to be organic. We haven't touched on trades yet, but we will do. The commissioner should never veto trades. I think that is really important. Value is subjective, so And so is the situation people play in, especially in Dynasty League. This is very, very Dynasty heavy focus, really. Trade should be open to questioning from the whole league. I think that, and that is something that the commissioner should enable by making sure the communication lines are there, and decisive action needs to be taken if someone does feel like there is at a point, or if there is a consensus that something is going wrong and there is collusion. But trades themselves should never be directly vetoed unilaterally by the commissioner. It should never be taken upon themselves to carry out that scary word, collusion. You can never put that word back in the box once you've said it. I've said it 5 times on this call, and when I say it can be put back in the box, we probably have it come out once a week on one of the fancy chats, just because of the Rodney Ruxin meme around that. In short, I think from your commissioner, you should expect more than the bare minimum. If they're bringing people into the fold, communicating well, and thinking ways to evolve and adapt your league to the demands of what you have, if they're doing that, then you've got a good one. If not, be happy that someone other than you is willing to do the most thankless job in the history of the world ever. Please, if you're gonna, this is my pity party moment. Say thanks to your commissioner. Be grateful for them if they're good. If not, tell them they're not good. Only if you can do a better job yourself. Anyway, that's my rant over. Thank you for listening for the past 6 or 7 minutes. Really do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy this format of these quick, short, sharp musings. I really enjoyed writing them. I'm going to end up publishing them somewhere at some point. Don't know yet. Maybe it's on the Buy Me a Coffee, which you can get at www.rugbywithpads. Get a subscription, support the show from as little as £1 a month. We sound like a charity, but we're not. We just it costs to run these things. It costs to host these things. You can get yourself some merch and all that kind of stuff, but you can also support for free by following on all the socials at rugbywithpads, Instagram, TikTok, X. I do a little bit on that, I guess, and I will be doing more as the season ramps up, especially into draft season as well. But as always, your support is welcome just from you listening to this show, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. I know it's early, but I will see you all on the virtual gridiron. Thanks again.